Before we get started here, we probably need to first take our 2024 calendar and turn it over to January 2025. We are starting off today's episode with a new series, and I am so excited for this. It is 2025. I love the new year. I get just as pumped as everybody else. And in order to not just be pumped at the beginning of January, but keep it going, I have decided that in 2025, at least the first 25 episodes of the year are going to be called 5 in 25, meaning I will be giving either 5 tips, 5 habits, 5 phrases, 5 things to do to truly move the needle in your life and in your workplace culture or in your relationships. And so I'm pumped to get kicked off with this series on January 1st. Happy New Year, friends. And today we're going to be talking all about 5 things to let go of in 2025. Let's get into it. I truly feel like 2024 flew by. How did we get to 2025 this quickly? As I was doing my year in review yesterday, I was looking for my wins, looking for challenges, but then also looking for travel. I realized that I did so much in 2024, and it doesn't even feel like it was a full year ago that I was engaging in some of these events and coaching some of these different individuals. And so, here we are, 2025. Now, I do want to take a moment and just thank you. If you started listening in the year of 2024, thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to listen. And I am so pumped to bring you this new series, 5 in 2025. I get comments a lot that people love the tips that I give, and sometimes that's in the title. And other times it's kind of hidden in the message. And so what I've learned from you is you guys really like it when the title is so clear on what the podcast episode is about and what your takeaways are going to be. And so I thought in this new series, 5 in 2025, we're going to be able to get super clear on the content that is in these podcast episodes. This episode, it's just 5 things that I want you to literally let go. I want you to say, that is the old me. That is the 2024 me. That is the previous me. The 2025 me, we don't care about these things. We don't put energy into these things. We don't focus on these things. This is what I love about the new year. You get to decide who you're going to be in 2025. If you are looking for some dynamite journaling ideas, I literally want you to journal about what should I leave behind in 2024? Who is the new me in 2025? What does the new me do? Does the new me think? Who do I want to be in 2025? And this is the cool part. You get to choose. You get to decide who you are, how you act, what actions you take, what energy you bring into a room. You get to choose. It is 2025. It is a new year, new me, right? I know some of you hate that phrase, and that's okay. I really do want you thinking about, though, what are some things you want to just leave in the past? Other journal entries that you could think about doing is, what does December 2025 look like? Write it out specifically. What does December 2025 feel like? Maybe this year you were stressed about money. Next December, you're not going to be stressed about that because you are going to be taking actions January through November, setting you up for success in December of 2025. Maybe you want to think about work is enjoyable. Great. In that journal entry where work is enjoyable, what does that look like? What does that feel like? And what action steps can you take to get there? If you have not written your letter to yourself for the end of 2025, you need to go do that today. Welcome to the new year. You're going to go get out a piece of paper. You're going to write, read on December 31st, 2025, and you are going to write a letter to yourself telling you all about how incredible 2025 was. If you are looking at starting a business, write a letter to yourself about how that business went. If you are looking to save money or travel abroad in 2026, then write your letter about how well you did at staying on your budget and saving for your trip in 2026. Whatever it is, manifest it, write it out as if it's already happened. There is something magical about your brain setting itself in the future. And remember, your brain does not understand fiction and nonfiction, meaning it does not understand what is made up in your mind. It believes it to be true if you believe it to be true. And so how incredible of an exercise to do. If you have not written your letter to yourself, go do that today. What a fun New Year's Day activity. There is something powerful in really igniting your dreams at the start of the new year and trying to set yourself up for success. In a future episode, we're going to talk about how do you do that and how do you stay on track with that. That is something Brian and I are really going to work on in 2025. He's been really great about just kind of verifying and checking where our finances are at the end of every single month. He's got this beautiful spreadsheet that he's created. And so on the 30th or the 31st or the 1st of the month, he'll say, hey, quick, what are your accounts at? And that's been really great for us to check in. But man, there's so many other things we could be checking in on that are not just about finances. So I'm excited to talk to you more about that as January kicks off. But right now, let's get into it. What are 5 things we are letting go in 2025? Here we go, in no particular order. Number 1, running on the hamster wheel. I know I did an episode recently where I talked about me running into people and people saying, oh, I'm just so busy. Oh, I'm busy. I'm doing this. I'm running. I'm chasing. I'm doing all these activities. I got to go grab the kids. I'm running all over the place. Listen, I hear you. I know that you want to set yourself and your kids up for success. But if it is not serving you, you are letting it go in 2025. I have 2 kiddos who are very open and honest with their feelings and, they're what they want. And so I really wanted my son to play hockey or basketball in the winter months. And he was like, I just don't want to do that this year. He's in 4th grade. In my head, I'm like, no, you need to learn the skills. You need to do the things. You need to be on the team. And he was just like, I don't want to be running all over at night after school. I'm already tired after school, which is very true for him. He has to hone himself in all day at school, and he just cannot wait to be home. That it would not serve him to then go run to basketball practice 1, 2, 3, 4 nights a week. So I had to say, okay, if you don't want to do that, that's not something we need to do right now. And it feels so nice. My evenings are so free because we are not running to sports. Now, are we running to sports in the spring and in the summer and in the fall? Absolutely. But it does not serve us to do that all year round. And so if you are finding yourself on the hamster wheel, maybe it's at work and you got to do this and you got to do this and you got to do this and you got to do this. Where can you delegate some of those activities so that you're not running on the hamster wheel? I know that you can delegate some of the work on your plate so that you can go to work and also feel like you can be accomplished and be efficient and be productive without stressing yourself so much and feel like you cannot ever sit down and breathe and relax. So if you are listening to this right now and you're like, Anne, I am on the gosh darn hamster wheel, and that's just where I have to be. In order for everything to work as well as it's going to work, I got to be on that hamster wheel. I need you to email me, impact@annvote.com, and just say, Anne, I'm on the hamster wheel. Help me get down. I would love to have a conversation with you about what can we delegate? What can we let go of? What can we hand off? So that you can be in a state to enjoy your life and do more of what you need to do well instead of constantly being in a state of rushing. This really hit us during COVID, where we were rushing. The kids were in hockey and gymnastics and dance and soccer. We were doing pottery. It was a lot. And then COVID hit, shut us all down, right? And then when we got the opportunity to get back into things, we really guarded our time and chose things that we really wanted to do. And so I want you to think about that. What do you want to be doing? And what are you rushing to do because it feels like the right thing to do? And what can you let go of? Leave it back in 2024. Next up, I think I'm going to go with negativity. Leave it in 2024. It's where it belongs, honestly. There were a lot of negative things that happened in 2024 that we just want to leave behind. I want you to think about how can you enter conversations thinking forward, leaning forward, really truly thinking about what you can do about a situation instead of talking about that negative situation. When people are talking to each other about each other and it's negative and it's not pretty, how can we walk away from that? How can you go find other things to do? Because you just maybe got done telling me that you're on the hamster wheel, yet you're engaging in negative conversations at work, taking time away from your productivity, potentially. How can we say, I've got better things to do? I've got other things to do. I have my goals to go meet, and sitting in this conversation of negativity isn't helping those goals, right? Maybe you, instead of going to the break room, put a podcast in and go for a walk. I know those of you in Minnesota, it is cold. That's okay. I did an hour and 45-minute walk today, and it was 27 degrees. Bundle up, grab some earbuds, and head out there. You can do it. And it is a way for you to get rid of that negativity in your life. If you have a person who jumps on the phone with you and is spewing negativity, how can you guard your time there as well? Or how can you shift from that conversation to jumping on the phone just for 5 minutes with your best friend to say, I need a laugh, I need some positivity, tell me a story, right? So that you can get out of that negative state and into that positive state. Negativity is staying behind in 2024. We are moving into positive conversations, positive relationships, positive situations. That's what we're putting ourselves into in 2025. Speaking of negative situations, let's also talk about taking accountability for us being in those negative situations or those negative relationships or those negative conversations. Instead of finding yourself blaming others for you being in those conversations, we are going to take accountability in 2025. So we are saying goodbye to blaming others, blaming situations, blaming organizations. We're going to leave that back in 2024. It does not serve us to be looking for a scapegoat for our problems. It does not serve you. You get nowhere from placing blame and thinking about who to blame and putting energy on that individual to blame. You get nothing out of that. Maybe you get an answer, but really nothing positive that's going to move you forward to those goals and to that person you want to be in 2025. So in 2024, we are leaving our victimhood behind. What can we do? So instead of saying, I'm in this situation because of this other employee, we are going to say, what can I do to get out of this situation? Or I'm always having toxic conversations with this group of people at break. Okay, what are we going to do? How are we getting out of that situation so that we are not in the toxicity, right? We need to stop blaming other things, and we just need to start taking accountability for ourselves. I was recently having a conversation because something really negative happened to me in December, and I started to spiral. And I started to be like, well, this is because of this, and this is because of this. And if this wouldn't have happened, then I wouldn't be here right now. And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, time out. What am I going to do? Great. Leave blaming back in 2024. Start asking yourself, what can I do in 2025? Next up, and this one's hard. I'm struggling with this right now, but it is a goal of mine to put myself first in 2025 and leave putting others' needs and wants in front of my own. We're leaving that behind in 2024. Okay. Now, some of you are listening to this and you are a parent, as am I. When we put other needs first, our own needs take a back seat, creating stress, anxiety, dare I say negativity, toxicity, maybe resentment toward that individual that we're putting their needs first instead of our own. That is going to leak out into other relationships of ours, into other areas of our lives, like at home or at work. And that is not serving anyone. And so we need to put ourselves and our needs first. What does this look like? For myself, this is me waking up and getting a walk-in the morning. Now, if you are new to this podcast or you don't know me personally, I used to have a very old yellow lab who needed to go out like at 5 a.m. And so I was waking up at 5 a.m. and I was going out for a mile walk every single morning. And then midday, I would take him out again. And then in the evening, I would take him out again. So in the end, I got about an hour to an hour and a half of walking in a day. My mind felt clear. My energy levels were up. I was getting like vitamin D even in the middle of winter. Everything felt really good. After he passed away, we got a new dog, but she had already been a domesticated animal. Now, Barney, our old yellow lab, lived on a farm, was never on a leash for 11 years. And so us moving him into our house and not allowing him to be out roaming the farm made me feel like he was being caged. And so that's why we wanted to take him on walks instead of just like letting him out to go to the bathroom. Now, with our new dog, she is as domesticated as they come. She's comfy and laying on the couch 90% of the day, right? And so I don't feel as needed to get out there and go for a walk, but it is absolutely affecting my mental health and my physical health, and my work health, if you will, my productivity health. Just imagine if my energy level goes up, my vitamin D increases, right? And I feel more rejuvenated and productive during the day. What does that do for my kids when they come home from school? Let me tell you, it's a lot better than seeing their mom sit on the couch scrolling social media for hours because I'm so drained and lack so much energy, right? And so I am going to start putting my needs first so that I can provide for not only my family, but my clients, my friends, my spouse, all of that. So what do you need to let go of in 2024? How can you make yourself a priority in 2025 so that you can be the best version of you for other people? Is it getting out and getting some movement in? Is it drinking more water so that you have more energy? Is it eating better so that you have more energy, right? What is it that you need to do to put your own needs? Listen to what I just said. Movement and food. Is it more sleep? All of these things are what you need to be fully functional. And so they are important for you to put in your body first or put yourself first so that you can serve other people in the best way. So it's not selfish. It's actually you giving your best version to other people. So how can we start doing that more in 2025, right? This last one is a theme of mine. You've heard it before. It is letting go. In 2024, we're going to just leave things we cannot control back there. We can't control them. And so worrying about them and talking about them and giving them time and energy did not serve us in 2024. So in 2025, we're only going to talk about things we can control. Now, you might need to make a mention of, well, we can't control X, but what we can do is Y, right? Earlier I mentioned, what can we do? How can you go into 2025 saying, what can we do? Focused on the things you can control, not on the things you can't control. Why do I talk about this so much? In my coaching, I find probably 25 to 30% of my conversations that I have. So this would be like 20 minutes of an hour-long coaching call is spent on things people can't control. Not until they get over the hump of really identifying what they can and can't control, it consumes a lot of people's time, energy, and stress. And so let's let that go in 2024. Let's start identifying it as it happens. So you have an employee walk in late and their manager comes up to you and says, oh, so-and-so is late. Okay, we can't control that they are not here. What can we control? You could ask this manager, do you need me to send someone over? What can I do for you? And if they're like, well, nothing, they're just not here, be like, okay, well, when they get here, make sure you restate those expectations and let them know that you're writing them up or whatever it is, the disciplinary action that your company has, right? And then you move on and you move forward and you keep going with your day instead of letting that situation hang out in your brain, because we can't control that. All right. There are lots of things that are going to happen in 2025 that we cannot control. And when we put our energy into those things, we don't win. It does not serve us. And so in 2025, I want you identifying, can I control this situation? No. So I need to control my thought about this situation, or I need to control my actions in response to this situation so that you can enjoy yourself in 2025. And what if it works, friends? What if we let go, we leave behind running on the hamster wheel, negativity and toxicity, blaming other people, putting others first before ourselves, and things we can't control, focusing on those things we can't control. What if it works? We go into 2025 and we are feeling energized. We are delegating tasks and they are getting done, and we are more productive and more efficient with our own time. What if we choose positivity over negativity? What if we stop blaming others and start taking action? What happens when we put ourselves first and we bring the best version of us to the office, into our homes, into conversations? Oh my goodness, 2025 is going to be amazing when we can just focus on what we can control and let go of those things we cannot. This is what I want for you. This podcast is all about going out there and creating change. And today's episode is all about creating change for you, for yourself, so that you can go create change for others. I want to hear from you. What else are you letting go of, leaving it behind in 2024 so that you can step into 2025 in the best version of yourselves? Thank you so much for being here and listening. Please feel free to share this episode with your friends and family who need to let go of some of these things as well, and who want to feel empowered and inspired and feel momentum in 2025, because that is what we are bringing, friends, an energized version of ourselves that are identifying what's best for us and taking action on that. May you have the best year ahead. Now go out there and create change.